All right, Rangers family, today we've got a transfer tug-of-war involving Isaac Price. Should Rangers have made a move? Plus, Nikola Katic's name is back in the mix. Could a familiar face solve our defensive crisis? And what about Lawrence Shankland? Is he the bargain option to replace Cyril Desires? Or are we aiming too low? Speaking of Desires, we've got a major issue with his exit. Can the club afford to let him go? And finally, Ianis Hagi, he's back in form and ready to commit. But will Rangers make him the centerpiece or cash in? Stick around because we're diving deep into every story, asking the hard questions and stirring the debate. You won't want to miss a second of this. It seems like Isaac Price has slipped through Rangers' fingers, with reports suggesting he's set to join an English Championship side for just £2 million. That's not exactly a jaw-dropping figure for an international talent, regularly playing for Standard Liège, one of Belgium's top clubs. The question that'll stick in your mind is, why weren't Rangers in for him this time? If there was prior interest, surely the scouting reports were already done. And with Philippe Clement's stated desire for quality reinforcements, this could have been the type of smart, low-cost signing Rangers need to compete on multiple fronts. It's fair to ask if Preston or West Brom have more pulling power than Rangers. Yes, the Championship offers financial muscle and a platform to the Premier League, but when it comes to heritage, trophies, and fan passion, there's no contest. So here's the question for you. How do you feel about Rangers potentially missing out on Isaac Price for a mere £2 million? Is this a lack of ambition, or do you trust Clement to have bigger plans? Let's hear what you think. Nikola Katic's name is back in the mix for Rangers, and it's hard not to feel a sense of nostalgia at the thought of the big Croatian returning to Ibrox. With Rangers in the middle of a defensive crisis ahead of the clash against Manchester United, you have to wonder if Katic could be the short-term solution Philippe Clement needs. The situation is dire: injuries, ineligible players, and Fernandes not being ready or registered leave us scraping the barrel for options. Katic, meanwhile, is sitting on the sidelines at Zurich, openly eyeing a move back to Ibrox. And while the Swiss side seem resigned to letting him leave, his pickiness might mean he's holding out for the club he's made no secret of wanting to rejoin. Would Katic be a smart signing right now? He's been playing regularly since leaving Rangers, which counts for a lot, and his physical style of play would fill the gap left by Leon Balogun's inconsistency and injuries. And plus, his experience at Ibrox could bring a stabilizing influence to a backline currently in tatters. But here's the thorny question for you. Is bringing back Katic a step forward or backward for Rangers? Should we look to the future with younger, fitter options, or is experience and familiarity with the club worth the gamble? What's your take? The idea of Lawrence Shankland coming to Ibrox to replace Cyril Desires is an intriguing one. On paper, Shankland's experience in Scottish football and his ability to lead the line with strength and determination could make him a solid, cost-effective option. Hearts have relied on him for leadership and goals, and while his numbers this season aren't jaw-dropping, his familiarity with the league might bring reliability to a Rangers side looking to fine-tune its attack. Now, the Cyril Desires situation is another matter entirely. 3 goals in a Scottish Cup hammering of Fraserburgh doesn't exactly scream renaissance, and let's face it, his time at Ibrox has been more frustrating than fruitful. If the club can move him on and free up some financial space, there's definitely a case for bringing in someone like Shankland as a backup or even a rotational forward. But here's the catch. Rangers are supposed to be aiming higher. Is Shankland the sort of signing that moves the needle for a club looking to wrestle the title back from that mob across the city? Or would this be a bargain basement move that signals a lack of ambition? So I'll leave this with you. Should Rangers go for a player like Shankland, knowing he's dependable but not dazzling? Or is it time for the club to splash the cash and bring in a game changer? Cyril Desires continues to divide opinion among Rangers fans, and his recent performances, while padded with goals against lower-level opposition, haven't done enough to change the narrative. A hat-trick against Fraserburgh in the Scottish Cup and a late goal against Aberdeen have boosted his numbers. But the question remains, where is this form when Rangers need it most in high-stakes matches? The reality is clear. Dezers hasn't lived up to expectations. His tendency to vanish in big games, coupled with a substantial wage packet, makes his situation at Ibrox a pressing concern. Reports linking him with moves abroad, like the one to Cagliari, suggest there's interest in his services, but his high salary could be a stumbling block. Rangers may have to subsidize his wages or accept a cut-price deal to get him off the books. It's a tricky spot for the club. On the one hand, moving Dezers on would free up funds for reinforcements, potentially paving the way for someone like Lawrence Shankland. On the other hand, letting him go without a credible replacement risks leaving the squad thin in attack. But here's where it gets controversial. Has the club's recruitment strategy failed once again? With Dezers brought in as a supposed key figure, is it acceptable that just months later we're already looking to offload him? Or is this another case of a player who simply couldn't handle the weight of the Rangers jersey? Let's hear what you think. Ianis Hagi's story at Ibrox is turning into a tale of redemption, and it's hard not to admire the Romanian's resilience. From being frozen out of the squad under Philippe Clement to becoming a crucial creative force, his turnaround highlights not just his talent, but also his mental toughness. Now, with contract talks looming, Rangers face a pivotal moment in securing their future with a player who could be at the heart of the side for years to come. Let's not forget Rangers have made costly mistakes in the past, allowing key players like Connor Goldson, John Lundstrom, and Borna Barisic to leave has left the squad looking thin and struggling to close the gap on Celtic. Losing Hagi, arguably our most creative asset, would risk compounding that problem. The one-year extension option provides breathing room, but it's not a solution, it's a stopgap. Hagi has shown that he can thrive when given the chance, and his skill set is something the team desperately needs to build around. Selling him now, especially with whispers of Serie A interest, might bring a quick cash injection, but it would be short-sighted. Clement has to show ambition here and reward Hagi's loyalty with a deal that reflects his importance to the team. So here's the big question for you. If Hagi is willing to stay, should Rangers make him the cornerstone of the rebuild, or is there a case for cashing in and reinvesting elsewhere? Are we ready to gamble on a replacement who might not fill his boots? Let's hear what you think. If you haven't seen yesterday's video yet, you're missing out. Explosive news about Rangers that'll leave every fan stunned. Go check it out now.